Can you turn on that one behind me right there?
Yeah, but let me brighten this one here.
That's what I'm saying. The switch is there.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the one behind you. Might give you more light. Let me just try this first.
I think that might be causing the problem.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try and see. How's that?
No, it's I'm saying. Turn it off. Turn it off here.
All right.
Yeah, that's better. As soon as you turn it off, yeah.
Better?
Yeah, can you turn that other one off too?
The bathroom? Oh, is it? You want to turn that one off too?
Yeah, much better. I should have remembered that. Any light behind me? It's like in our house.
Oh, I see.
All right. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Glad to see everyone this evening. Praise the Most High Yah. It's been quite a whirlwind week for my wife and I. Glad for the Shabbat hours, rest and peace, and praise the Most High for it. Greetings to the 12 tribes that are scattered into the four corners of the earth, according to Bible prophecy. And greetings to the 144,000 who are among them, being prepared to be sealed, that they might give a warning message to all the tribes scattered into the four corners of the earth. Greetings. Greetings to the Gentiles who have received the truth of the Hebrew Messiah, the truth of the true Israelite nation scattered throughout the earth, and have received the Father's righteousness, that they might overcome their sin. Greetings. Greetings also to the chat. And Brother Gary Joseph, Akawan Banya, Only One Way, Brother Mark, Sister Isha Shama, Sister Wade, and Brother Superstar, husband of Sister Wade. Greetings to all of you. Chaplain Lewis, greetings to you. It seems like it's been a while since we have had Bible study. Maybe it's been, I don't know. It seems like it's a long time. So a lot has happened in the last week or two. We came into Florida about a week ago. We were in Florida. We came into Florida from Washington, and we were looking for a sign from the Most High that if we should move or we shouldn't move to Florida. And the signs have come to pass, and the signs have come to pass. And so we are moving to Florida. We're going to be moving to the Orlando, Florida area for sure, and moving from Northern Virginia, DC area. So we're going to be down here. We're now staying in the Airbnb in the villages, and we're going to be buying my father's house, and my father's going to be moving, and his wife are going to be moving into a assisted living facility. And so we're going to be in this area, and we feel, well, it's obvious to us. We asked for several signs, and the Most High showed us all of them. So there's been no doubt now that, we're coming down here, unless something drastically suddenly changes. All the signs we asked for came to pass within this time. And so, generally we don't, Oscar Stone. But, well, that's generally true, Oscar's right. But this the place in Northern Virginia, we actually, in July, would be 9 years to the day that we were in Northern Virginia, in that house that we're about to sell to my children. And so we're about to sell our house to my children. And we were in, July 31st would be 9 years to the day that we moved into that house. And so now we're moving out, as it turns out, and we're moving to Florida. So here we are. And, my wife and I still can't believe it. We still, every once in a while, one of us will say, we're moving to Florida. Yes, we're moving to Florida. And we're trying to get used to being in Florida, not just as a guest, but as a resident. And so it's definitely been quite a whirlwind. And then all of the things surrounding that, helping my parents find the right assisted living place. And that's still ongoing. Hopefully we're narrowing it down, but there's that, there's our jobs, just a bunch of things, man. So here we are, going to be down here in the Sunshine State. And as Oscar alluded to, I don't know how long we're going to be there. I don't know how long, but generally it's 5 years. We're moving right away. So we're going back to Virginia next week. We're closing on my house for my kids the week after next. And we're coming down here soon after that. Just going to be getting everything is moving pretty fast and pretty crazy. So, like last night, I was supposed to do a Bible study. Wednesday night, I was supposed to do a Bible study, and we didn't do it. Um, uh, no, I didn't. I didn't get any FedEx partial, Brother Mark. I did not. I did not. But yeah, but things have been crazy. So, uh, as a result of all that's going on, my father and I have become much closer. My father going to be 82 this year. I've become much closer with his wife than I ever was. And last night, I was supposed to have Bible study with Brother Alex last night, and I was dropping off my stepmother, me and my wife, and headed back so I could do the Bible study. And my father said, "No, you stay right here. I ain't finished with you yet." And so we sat down for, I don't know, a couple of hours with my dad. And I don't know, it was the last time we did that. And we were sitting there, and he had bought him some food, and he fed me some, and he said, "This is what families are supposed to be like." And we really never had that in our house. So it was a great blessing, my father and his wife, like that. So here we are, and we're coming down here, and Most High has work for us to do. And I've met several brethren from the area. In fact, we're going to have dinner Sunday with Brother Alex and his wife. What a blessing we had when we baptized them last week. So we're going to meet with them again, have dinner with them this Sunday. And yeah, it's going to be all good. So praise the Most High. So we have been studying Romans, and we were in chapter 3. And I stopped purposely the last time we were studying this because we're about to get into the meat of Romans. Okay. Now, I mentioned to you all that the most important doctrine, in my view, in the Bible is the doctrine of, sometimes it's called justification by faith, as you're going to see in this title, or righteousness by faith. And why do I say that's the most important doctrine in the Bible? Because you and I have no power to make ourselves clean and righteous. And that's the difference between the doctrine of Asatan and the doctrine of Father Yah through Messiah, Yahushua. Let me make this clear. The doctrine of Asatan is you can be a God. Therefore, you can save yourself. Okay? So that's the doctrine of Asatan. That's what he told Eve in the garden. You can be a God. If you eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil that you were told from your creator not to eat, you can be a God. And that's one of his central doctrines. Okay. And so man being able to save himself is a doctrine of Asatan. Man cannot save himself. Oh, you might gain some victories over some habits, or you might be able to stop drinking or using drugs or anything like that. But even the drug addicts and the winos and alcoholics will tell you they could not stop of themselves. What they call it is what? A higher power. Okay, that's what they call it. You have to lean on a higher power. They go to meetings and lean on higher powers, and they encourage each other to not do the drugs or not drink. The doctrine of the Father is you cannot save yourself, but his righteousness can deliver you. And he gives you a spirit of righteousness so that you can obey him. And he goes further and puts you in a position to receive the righteousness that he offers by having his son pay the penalty of death for you. Okay? So Messiah, the only begotten Son of the Father, paid the penalty of death for the sinner, to the Israelite first, and also to the Gentile. And by doing that, he opens the door, that is, Messiah opens the door so that the repentant sinner can come back to the Father. Adam was made in the image of Yah, the Father, and he sinned, and he lost that image. He lost that righteousness that he had, and he was separated from his Father because of sin. Messiah bridged the gap between us and our Father. And through his atoning sacrifice for sin, he opens the door for you and I to come back to our Father. Okay? Now, this doctrine is again called justification by faith or righteousness by faith. Father allows us through his Son to come back to him, and that is an act, that whole process is an act of grace. He does not have to do that. He does not have to do that. He does it as an act of grace and mercy. Okay? So Father, through his Son, allows us to come back to our Father. Okay? And he gives us his spirit of righteousness. And that spirit of righteousness brings us back into obedience. That's the object, because Adam lost obedience when he disobeyed his father. You're following me so far? So Adam lost the ability to be obedient in and of himself when he disobeyed his father. And he could not save himself because the penalty was death. Father does not lie. The penalty is still death. But through an act of grace and mercy, he sends his Son, who lived without sin and did not deserve death, but tasted death for all of his people, that through him we might obtain Father's righteousness and be connected again to our Father. Messiah is not only that. This is the importance of Messiah, and this is what we're going to read when we're in Romans. Messiah not only paid the penalty of sin for his people, not only that, he is also the Son of Man and the Son of Yah at the same time. And many people do not understand that relationship. So let me explain it to you. Messiah came to earth and was born through the womb of Miriam as a man. The seed that impregnated her is the seed of the spirit of the Father. The Father's spirit impregnated Miriam. So he is Yah's son by the seed being the spirit in her womb. I know people don't agree, don't believe. That's not my problem. I'm just following this book right here. And that's what it says. Okay? Now, so he is Yah's son, but being born of a woman, he is the son also of man or mankind. So he can represent the Father to us, and he can represent us to the Father. In order to be able to do that, to represent us to the Father, he has to be sinless, without sin. In order to represent the Father to us, he has to be perfect righteousness, because that's the Father. And he is. So when he's speaking on your behalf and on my behalf to our Father, he is the Son of Man. He's representing us as man. Okay? Having lived as a man. Okay? On the earth. Having taken the penalty of sin and died as a man on the earth. 33 and a half years of perfect obedience. Okay? When he comes with a message from an angel, as he did to John in the book of Revelation, and as he does to you and me, when his spirit is speaking to us, that's coming from Messiah. It's the Father's spirit coming from Messiah, and he's coming to us as the Son of the Father, Son of Yah. Okay? Because he represents the Father to us, and he represents us to the Father. Okay? And so when we're connecting with our Father, we're doing it through Messiah. Okay? Does that make sense, y'all? So that is how the process of justification by faith, or being declared innocent by the Father. The Father declares you innocent. It's the Father that's the judge. He declares you innocent because of what Messiah has done for us. Father declares you innocent. You cannot declare yourself innocent. You cannot take away your own sin. You cannot stop yourself from death. But Father can do all of that. And he does it through Messiah. So Messiah is the atoning sacrifice for our sin. Messiah is the intercessor between Father and us. Messiah is going to be king of this earth. He is the prince right now. He's going to be king of this earth. The entire planet will be under his power. Okay? Those are all the rules. So he is prophet, he is priest, and he is king. There is no other being in the universe, anyone, no one that has them titles altogether. Nobody. And if anyone was to claim to have those titles, they'd be blaspheming. There's only one. That's the prophet, the priest, and the king. Only one. Okay? That's what makes him Mashiach, Yahushua. Okay? Messiah, Yah exists to save. That's what makes him that. Okay? He's the only prophet, priest, and king. And that's what makes him eligible to be the one through whom we receive salvation. So now, the Apostle Paul, having been appointed by Messiah, through Messiah, by the Father, through Messiah, to be the apostle to the Gentiles, of the 12, there was one chosen to be particularly apostle to the Gentiles. That was Paul. He is teaching the Gentiles the milk of the word, the beginning part of the word, the most important part, which brothers and sisters, as Hebrews also, as well as Gentiles, but the Hebrews here first, we have not known the most important part. We have not known it. It's been hidden from us. It's been given to us in shades, but never full on. In other words, we had perverted understanding of grace, perverted understanding of mercy, perverted understanding of obedience, perverted understanding of power, perverted understanding. But now with this epistle that we're going to read, we will gain an understanding in terms of the power coming from the Father. Obedience is a gift. It's a spirit. It comes from the Father. Forgiveness through Messiah that comes from the Father. Okay. And so we are leaning on the Most High Yah for everything. We're leaning on him. We're trusting him. We're looking for him to help us in everything, brothers and sisters. Okay. Now, let's start in Psalms 31. I was telling you about this the other night. Psalms 31. As we're starting here, we're going to, of course, get to Romans chapter 3. We were in actually the second half of Romans 3. But let's look at Psalms 31. Psalms 31. Also, I want to read a little Deuteronomy today, if y'all don't mind. But let's start at Psalms 31. One of my favorite Psalms. I love the beginning, especially of this Psalm. I'm going to start at verse 1. And I'm going to go down to verse 5. There's a lot. I would suggest that you read the whole Psalms when you get a chance. It's 24 verses long, but it's got some powerful promises in it. So let's look at Psalms 31, beginning at verse 1. In thee, O Yahweh, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Let me read that part again. Okay, you ready? Let's read that part again. Psalm 31, verse 1. Watch this. Talk about the gospel now, right? Talk about justification by faith. Watch. In thee, O Yahweh, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Did you see that? It's not deliver me in my righteousness. It's, Father, deliver me in your righteousness. Deliver me in your righteousness. How does he do that? By his spirit through Messiah. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Bow down thine ear to me. Deliver me speedily. Be thou my strong rock, for an house of defense to save me. Father is recognized as the rock and as the fortress. Look at verse 3. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Therefore, for thy name's sake, lead me and guide me. I'm always praying this prayer myself because I want to be guided by the Father in everything I do. I know sometimes I've veered off the path, but that's me. That's my choice. But when I come back, I'm asking the Father, lead me and guide me. You are my rock. In other words, I could lean on you. I could trust you with everything. And my fortress. What's a fortress? It's a protection. You are my rock and my fortress. I could depend on you and trust you, and you're always going to protect me. Father, when you trust in Father, he would never let you walk into something that he don't prepare you for. He never let you walk into something blindly without showing you. He'll give you a dream. He'll show you a vision. He'll give you his word. He'll send you his spirit to talk to you through his angel. He'll always try to talk to you. This is especially true when you're seeking to be in a relationship with somebody. See, the problem, brethren, is we want our own way. And oftentimes we try to inculcate our way into the Father's way instead of just listening to the Father. Somebody was asking me about this one day. Say, how do I know when I'm ready to be married? I said, when the Father shows you. He said, well, I'm ready. I said, no, there's three. For him saying that, I knew he wasn't ready. But there's three answers you get from the Father. Yes, no, and wait. And nobody wants to believe or hear the last two. Nobody wants to. Moses asked the Father, let me see the good land. Let me go in the good land that you promised to your people. Father said, no, don't talk to me about it again. You're not going over. Paul said 3 times, please remove this thorn in my flesh. No, my grace is sufficient for you. He sometimes says no. A lot of times with us, because he loves us, he says, wait. Wait. Wait on your house and be of good courage. And he will strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on your house. You know why? It's going to take patience for us to be saved. Hey, I think I'm not telling anybody think crazy if I say to you, you know very well Father's been patient with you. And I know very well he's been patient with me. Correct? I'm not saying anything nobody don't know. You know very well he's been patient with you. And I know very well he's been patient with me. And he going to need us to be patient in this war that we're in. He's going to need us to be patient. And he tries us in a furnace of affliction to develop patience. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yes. So he is always trying to develop us. So sometimes he'll say, wait, what you asking for? Okay, you got to wait. And people are not willing to wait. Especially, I like to use relationships in this because this is big. And, y'all know relationships is big in this world today. Everybody wants to be with somebody, right? And most people don't want to be lonely, but most people will not wait the requisite time for the right person. They will not wait for the right person. And not only that, they will not wait and allow the Father to prepare them for the right person. You hear me? Because brothers and sisters, you and me are some tough people, boy. Am I telling the truth? You and me are some hard nuts to crack. We some hard nuts to crack. You and me. You know I'm telling the truth, right? So he is trying, you know what? Our fathers. It is 11, listen here. I read just the other day in Deuteronomy. It's 11 days journey from Mount Sinai to the promised land on foot. It was 11 days journey on foot, but it took them 40 years. That 11-day journey took them 40 years. Why? Because they refused to receive the preparation necessary to cross Jordan. Y'all hear me? They refused. Our fathers refused. Moses said, you were rebellious from the day I knew you. He said, they refused to receive the instruction, the chastisement, the training necessary to cross Jordan. Brothers and sisters, you and I, right now, listen, ain't but a few years left. Ain't but a few years left. And I'm telling you right now, he's preparing us to cross Jordan. He's preparing us. And it ain't easy. It's you look, it's not easy to deal with me and you. It's not. And he is trying. And so sometimes, you think you can't be alone or you're afraid to be alone. It's the best thing for you to be by yourself. For not only your sake, but for whatever spouse you might get. Best thing for you. Be by yourself. Best thing. But many of us don't want to deal like that. But that's the Father's plan, but we don't want to deal like that. Or maybe you had in your mind a spouse that you wanted that fit. You know, I've had more than one brother, but one of my best friends ever in my life. I remember he told me, he said, brother, he said, Todd, I got a checklist, and this chick fit all my checklists. Do you know that was 40 years ago? He's still single. He keep looking for his checklist. You know what, brothers and sisters? One thing I did right, I did a whole bunch of stupid stuff in my life. There's no doubt. My life is filled with dumb decisions. But one thing I did, I came to the Most High and I said, I ain't smart enough to pick a wife. I ain't got enough sense. I need you to pick her. I knew I could figure that one out. And you know why it was easy for me to do that? It was like scary, but easy. You know why? Because my parents had one of the worst marriages in the history of marriage, man. I once asked my father, why did you, what did y'all decide to get married for? And he said, well, because if it wasn't, we wouldn't have had you. And I'm glad we had you. So that shut me up. But watching their example, I decided I don't want nothing to do with marriage, man. Forget it. And so when I came to the Most High and I surrendered my life to the Messiah, even as a Christian, I said, Father, I'm not going to pick her. Because I'm going to be looking for something with a nice shape and some nice legs. And I'm going to be looking for something that fit my physical, what I want. I'm not going to be looking for what you see. You pick her. And praise the Most High through thick and really thick and thin. Me and my sweet Puerto Rican wife been together for 38 years. Through thick and thin. Yeah. And that would not have happened if I didn't ask him. That would not have happened if I didn't ask. There's no way I'll be married with one woman for 38 years. There's no way. No way. Without ever having another woman. And I'm saying that because if it was me and my flesh, shoot, my seed be all over the place. I ain't lying. I'm telling you the truth. I can do no other. But Father has kept me. He has kept me. Okay, he has kept me. My father looked at me last night and he said, man, you better thank the most. He said, you better thank the Lord for her. You better pray. Don't you ever mess up with her. And I said, man, don't worry. 38 years, I ain't going nowhere. 38 years, I ain't going. See, so I had enough sense to say, Father, I can't. And I was ready for him to tell me, you ain't marrying nobody. Honestly, the Most High, my witness, he know my heart. I got on my knees and said that. If you don't want me to marry anybody and you want me to be like Paul, I swallowed hard and said, man, I'll be tough, but if that's what you want. But I need you to pick her. And I have, I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to be honest. The way I grew up in my household, like my father and mother fought like cats and dogs. My father beat up my mother sometimes. My mother was difficult. But one thing my mother and my father instilled in me, now this is, black pride. Now y'all know what black pride is. I come from the 60s. And they instilled that in me, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't call myself a racist, but I refused. I refused to deal with any Caucasian woman. Refused. Even though I liked some that came in, some of them liked me, I would not even touch them. But when I got on my knees and prayed to the Father to pick my wife, I said, even if she's Caucasian, I'll do it. If you pick her, I'll be with her. And I was scared. I was genuinely scared about that. And I said, if you pick her, I'll be with her. I'm not lying. I'm being honest with you. I said, no matter who she is or what she looked like, whether she's skinny or fat or white or red, I don't care. I said, as long as I know you pick her, I'm going to be with her. Okay? Honestly. And when I met my wife and the Most High showed me this is her and I saw her in the light, I was relieved because she was pretty. I was relieved. I said, oh, she's pretty. Because I would have went with whoever he told me to go with. I was serious. I would have been, if he'd have said be by yourself, I'd have been by myself. If he'd have said marry this white woman, I'd have married the white woman. Whoever he said to marry, I was going to do it. Okay. And brothers and sisters, I'm telling y'all, most people don't even go that way. Won't even wait. You know, I'm trying to tell certain brothers, just wait a minute. Give yourself a breather when you break up with one, man. Just wait. Man, he back on the computer trying to get online, get another one. Can't wait. You mean? So wait on the Most High. Trust him. He is the rock. He is the fortress. He's trying to protect you. He's always trying to protect you. If you belong to him, brothers and sisters, some of y'all could bear witness when you get ready to get baptized. I will ask you, are you ready to trust in Yahweh with all your heart, to lean not to your understanding, and in all your ways to acknowledge him and let him direct your paths? Are you ready to do that? Otherwise, you can't be baptized. And if you are, okay. See? So that's what it takes. And it's hard. It's not hard because life is hard. It's hard because we hard. That's the truth. It's hard because we are hard. That's why. That's what makes it hard. Because you and me are hard, man. We are hard, difficult. Okay? Difficult. Okay? Praise the Most High. All right, so let's continue. Verse 4. Notice what he said. Psalm 31:4. Pull me out of the net that they have laid privily for me, for thou art my strength. Into thy hands I commit my spirit. Thou hast redeemed me, O Yahweh, Most High of truth. Now, again, just want to make sure we understand. Don't serve the Most High and you don't know who he is. Go get to know who your Father is. Get on your knees and ask him to show himself to you, and he will. Also, because you cannot come to him and please him unless you believe that he exists, that he is. Okay? Also, you must understand, notice what it said. Thou hast redeemed me, Yahweh, Most High of truth. You must believe that he is pure, unadulterated truth. That there's no lie in him. There's no incorrection in him. He is correct, perfect, righteous truth. You must be able to trust that. You must believe that. If you don't, go find something else. This is how this works. Otherwise, it won't work. I'm counseling this brother, and he keeps doubting. You know, he's telling me, well, she cheated on me. I think she cheated on me. And I said, bro, if you think she cheated on you, break up with her. No, I'm not sure. Well, then stop playing. Stop whining. Either be in or be out. Either you can trust her or you can't. If you can't, walk. Or let her walk and quit playing games. Right? Because either you in or you out. Either you in or you out. And if you out, just be out. If I didn't believe the Father was pure truth, I wouldn't be here talking to y'all tonight. I'd be doing something else. But I believe that. I believe that he is. I know that he is. He has shown me too much. Understand? And that it's a protection. So that if anybody, and this can be, it's always people come at you with all kind of stuff, man. The fact that you believe that your Father exists, that he is the Most High, perfect righteousness and truth, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. Okay? You don't have to worry about another book, another prophet, blah, 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 blah. Trust your Father. Trust your Father. Now watch. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. Another one of my favorite. Deuteronomy and Gospel of John, my favorite books. But we're going to go into another one now in Romans. But Deuteronomy chapter 4. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 4. I'm going to begin at verse 1, and I'm going to take my time, but I'm going to end up stopping, and I can keep going on this book, because this book right here, oh my God. Okay, but I'm going to go from verse 1 down to verse 20. Okay? From verse 1 down to verse 20. But I'm going to start at verse 1 and go from verse 1 to 5. Deuteronomy is powerful, man. It really is. I mean, for me, it just hits me. And you're going to find, too, when you start reading this book from Genesis to Revelation, you start reading it, things are going to hit you. You read it with prayer to your Father, and his Spirit will guide you. And things in it are going to hit you that may not hit me the way it hit, but they're going to hit you. And then when you read through it again, they're going to hit you again. Something else is going to hit you, and it's going to get deeper. And over the years, you and this book become one. And that's the object, you see. Messiah was called the Word of the Most High. Okay? The Deuteronomy, the real name of the book is These Be the Words. The word, the word is dabar. And 10 Commandments is awar dabar, right? Dabarim means these be the words. Dabarim, these words. Okay? The book of the law, these words. In fact, the 10 Commandments are called 10 words. Awar dabar, right? So Messiah is 10 words. He is the Word of the Most High. And Father wants all of us, through his Spirit and through the study of his Word, to become one with his Word, like Messiah is. You understand? Messiah is one with the Word. He's one with the Father. He is the Father's Word. And through us surrendering to the Father and looking at Messiah as our example and studying his Word, we also become one with the Word. Okay, it doesn't mean we're hitting somebody over the head with the Word all the time, but we're just seeking to live in the spirit of the Word so that we can bring glory to the Father by obedience. It always comes back, brethren, to bring glory to the Father. The object of this whole thing is to bring glory to the Father. The object of our redemption and salvation is to bring glory to the Father. Okay, that's the object. That's always the object, okay? If you can keep that as the focus, I'm going to bring glory to my heavenly Father. Now, you're going to fail like me. You're going to fail a lot, but it's all good because you come back. And then when you come back after you fail, you get a deeper appreciation of his mercy and grace. You get a deeper appreciation of his mercy and grace, okay? Because you're going to fall. It's going to happen. Okay, babies fall when they're trying to walk, right? Babies fall when they're trying to walk. You're going to fall, but you keep coming back to your Father and you get a deeper appreciation of his mercy and grace and of the perfect righteousness that he covers you with. Because the object is always the Father's glory. And the way we glorify Father is by doing what he says, by obeying him. It's just like in life. How do we bring honor and glory to our parents? By obeying what they tell us. Right? You bring honor and glory to your parents by being obedient to what they tell you to do. When they instruct you, you being obedient. That's how you bring glory and honor to them. Okay? Well, we bring glory and honor to our Father by obedience. We're obedient through his Spirit. It's a gift. Okay? Watch. Deuteronomy chapter 4 from verse 1 to 5. Now, therefore, hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that you may live and go in and possess the land which Yahweh, Most High of your fathers, giveth you. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that you may keep the commandments of Yahweh, your Most High, which I command you. Now look, there's a lot of talk about changing the word, right? People use all these different versions of the Bible and all this, change the word, change doctrines, and so on and so forth. One thing we know that should never, ever change: the covenant. The covenant never changes. I am Yahweh thy Most High, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's the first commandment. He is the only true God. Yah, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of the nation of Israel, which is now scattered. There's no other. There's no other God. And he's the only one his people should be worshiping. There is no other God. Don't worship any image, any standing image, any figurative image, any institutional image. No likeness of anything, whether it's heaven above, earth beneath, no crosses, no pictures of white Jesus, all black Jesus. None of that. Don't take his name in vain. What does that mean, to take his name in vain? Don't call yourself by his name and act the fool. That's what it's talking about. Don't call yourself by his name and worship another God. Don't call yourself by his name and misrepresent him is truth and righteousness. Don't do that. It's not just saying Jesus Christ. That's not it. Taking his name, becoming one with his name. Don't do that in vain. Don't do it just for show. Don't do it to make money like some people do. Don't take his name in vain. Take his name, take him, take his character and misrepresent it. Remember the Shabbat to keep it holy. Remember the Shabbat because he created that for us. Honor your parents. Don't steal. Don't murder. Don't commit adultery. Don't bear false witness. Don't covet what doesn't belong to you. Okay? That never changes. And we could never be obedient to that without the spirit of righteousness, without the spirit that he give us. And that's what brings him glory. Don't take away or add to those words. Okay? And that's why I say the doctrine of justification by faith leads you to that truth. Leads you to that one. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 4. Your eyes have seen what Yahweh did because of Baal Peor. For all the men that follow Baal Peor, Yahweh, thy Most High, hath destroyed them from among you. But ye did cleave unto Yahweh your Most High, are alive, every one of you this day. What is he saying there? Not that he's threatening people with death that don't worship him. What he's saying is if you don't worship him, death is the natural result. He said, y'all that cleave to the Most High, you are alive. The ones that worship the false god, they dead. And brothers and sisters, that still exists. It doesn't go away. People worshiping false gods are going to cease to exist. People that worship the only living God, Yah. People that worship the only object of life. The only way you get life is from God, the Father, Yah. When you worship Yah, you're going to live. Messiah said, I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. What is that? Abundant life is the spirit of the Father. Messiah also said, he that cometh to me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. That's the Father's spirit. That's why he said you have abundant life. Life in abundance is the Father. He is life. And so those that are with him will continue to live with him. Those that are not, that worship any other God, you're going to cease to exist. You cannot exist apart from life, right? I mean, right? Does it make sense? You have life from an origin of all life. And if you cut yourself off from what is the origin and sustainer of life, what do you have left? Death. He said, all the men that worship Baal Peor are dead. But you who cleave to Yah, you're alive. Object lesson for us. Going through the wilderness. Object lesson for us. Okay? Praise the Most High. Verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh my Most High commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great who hath a Most High so nigh unto them as Yahweh our Most High is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I have set before you? Why did he say in the sight of the nations? Why did he say in the sight of the nations? Because as we know now, Israel's job was supposed to be a witness of Yah to the heathen, to the Gentiles around them. That was the object, so that the Gentiles around them would observe how they are worshiping their God, how they don't want any other gods, how there's no images set up. They would observe how they ate, how they cleaned themselves, how they kept order in the camps, how the tribes was in order. They would observe that and they would say, wow, this is a righteous nation. And then that would give Israel an opportunity to say, the righteousness doesn't come from us, it comes from Father Yah. They would have that opportunity. But of course, as we know, our fathers failed. But Yah's word is going to come to pass because he said it. He said, I'm going to redeem you. I'm going to bring you out from the nations and I'm going to sanctify you in front of the heathen. Remember, he said that in Ezekiel. He said it in Jeremiah. He said it in Isaiah. He says it, all the prophets say that. He said, I'm going to redeem you from among the heathen and I'm going to be sanctified in you before them so that he could see, because that's the object. That is why, brothers and sisters, the awakening is so important, because the awakening is beginning of redemption for the earth. The earth just doesn't know it. But those of us being awakened should understand. Okay? So now as we are being redeemed and awakened and being brought to our Father, there's people that's going to be observing that. And they will be blessed by that. And they will inquire those that belong to Yah. He has called to the church daily, such as should be saved. So he's going to call certain people to you, and they're going to want to be around you. And it's because your Father, that's for you to point them to Yah. Okay? Like I'm telling you all right now. Okay? Let's continue. Verse 9. Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons, especially the day that thou stoodest before Yahweh thy Most High in Oreb, when Yahweh said unto me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. Now, Brother Alex actually asked me today, I hope you don't mind me saying your name, Brother Alex, but he said, what does it mean to fear the Most High? He said that they may learn to fear me. What does that word mean? Listen, fear is a combination of reverence and respect. Y'all got that? Fear is reverence and respect. So what does that mean? Your Father, you're going to reverence him and respect him. Now, in your heart of hearts, what does that mean? You would know in yourself, what does it mean to give reverence to your God, to respect him? Okay, people do that to other people all the time. Somebody that's rich gets reverence and respect from people, somebody that's not, right? But we know respect to a person, neither is Yah, but you understand, reverence and respect. That's what he means to fear him. That means he's just not your buddy. He's your Father. Reverence and respect. You know, the other day, my dad told me this. He said, so you think you a preacher, huh? My dad come from the old school. He said, so you think you a preacher, huh? And I said, yeah, I'm a preacher. He said, I didn't know there was a new head of the family. And I said, no, there's no new head of the family. He said, well, you're the preacher. I'm no preacher, he said. I said, but you're the Father. And he was quiet after that. I said, yeah, I'm the preacher, but you're the Father. See, reverence and respect. And that man, he was quiet quick then. He was trying to start some mess, but he was quiet after that. But that's the truth. He said, so you think you all that? I didn't know there was a new head of the family. I said, ain't no new head of the family. He said, you're the preacher. I said, but you're the Father. And that's what we say to our Father here. We might be preachers and teachers, but that's the Father. Fear means reverence and respect. And you get angry sometimes at your father, your dad, but you watch what you say to him, right? When you have your father there, you be careful what you say. Reverence and respect. Praise the Most High. Reverence and respect. Okay, so let's continue. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 11. And ye came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire under the midst of heaven, with darkness, clouds, and thick darkness. And Yahweh spake unto you out of the midst of the fire, and ye heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude, only ye heard a voice. See? He didn't show them himself. They couldn't see him. First of all, they couldn't because they'd die if they actually saw him. But he didn't show them also because they'd have begun to make some image out of him and worship it. So he said, you just heard my voice. Again, so what did they hear? They heard his word. So he exalts his word. And they heard the voice to know that he existed, that he exists. And then they heard his word. Let's continue. Verse 13. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even 10 commandments. And he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone. And Yahweh commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go over to possess it. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that Yahweh spake unto you in Oreb out of the midst of the fire, lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, or a similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth, lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven when thou seest the sun and moon and the stars and even all the hosts of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which Yahweh thy Most High hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. But Yahweh hath taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as you are this day. One thing I love about the Father, he never changes. His word is forever. He brought out a people as his inheritance. Did you see that? You are his inheritance forever. There is an awakening, and it's ongoing. And he is bringing forth from this awakening in this year right now his inheritance. There will never be a replacement for his inheritance. Just like he didn't replace those people with anybody. That's his inheritance. He is great enough to bring back the bloodline. And he is great enough to have the bloodline witness to the heathen and have a people among the heathen. He is great enough to do that. Okay? Praise the Most High. And he is doing that right now. We just have a few more years left, brethren. It's not going to be long. Okay? It's not going to be long. And he's moving us. We did not intend to move to Florida this year. We did not intend to do that. But here we are. Here we are. Because it's not many more years left. And I don't know how long we're going to be here, whether it be 5 years or less or more. I don't know. But I know what? Not long. Not long. Not long, brethren. Okay? All right. Let's go back now to Romans. Romans chapter 3. Romans chapter 3. Justification by faith. Romans chapter 3. So now we started in Romans 3 and we asked the question, what advantage has the Hebrew, the Israelite, the Jew? What is the advantage of the Jew? Much every way, the Bible said. For unto us were committed what we just talked about, the oracles of Yah. He gave them to a specific group of people who he redeemed out of slavery from Mizraim, out of the furnace of slavery. And he gave them his statutes and his commandments. He only gave it to them. He didn't give it to anybody else. The heathen, even today, that are trying to claim to obey the 10 commandments, the only reason they know anything about the 10 commandments is they got it from the Hebrews. Did you hear what I said? The only reason they know anything about the 10 commandments is they got it from the Hebrews. Otherwise, they know nothing about it. And before they found the manuscripts from the original Hebrews, they didn't know anything about it. That's the truth. Okay? And that's going to always be the case. They got the word of the Most High the way the Philistines had the Ark of the Covenant and didn't know what they was doing with it. Philistines captured the Ark of the Covenant when Eli was the priest, and his two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, the wicked fools, was the priest, and they captured it. Okay, they captured it, didn't know what they was doing with it. Well, that's like the heathen with this here. They don't know what they was doing with it. They got it, they translated it, but they didn't know what to do. That's why they created Christianity, Catholicism. They didn't know what they was doing. It wasn't until the awakening of the true Hebrews that the understanding of this word is being brought forth. Don't ever forget that. That's never going to change. Okay? Never. Now, let's continue. So, we also saw how the apostle wrote, all of us have sinned. So, let's start there tonight. I'm going to start at verse 10 of Romans chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 10. And I'm going to go down to verse 19. From verse 10 to verse 19. Oh, my dad? No, my dad is, he's a descendant of Florida slaves. My dad is a descendant of Florida slaves. They came up from Merritt Island in Florida as slaves and then sharecroppers. My dad is a descendant of those people. From slaves and sharecroppers. Okay, that's where he come from. My mother, straight Jamaican. My mother, straight Jamaican. The ones that they dropped off the boat because they was too rebellious. That's my mother. All that side is from Kingston and Runaway Bay, and they were my great grandfather Maroon, man. They straight Jamaican. Okay, so let's continue. All right, so Romans chapter 3 from verse 10 down to verse 19. That's right. The covenant was only given to Israel. Notice what it says. I'm Yahweh thy Most High, the Lord thy God, that brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Only those people, right? So it's the people that were brought out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. A specific group of people received that covenant. A specific group. It wasn't for everybody. It was for the Hebrews, okay? It was for them. And it's for the Hebrew to teach the heathen. Remember, he said, in the sight of the nations. So the Hebrew was supposed to be the example to the nations. Okay? And guess what? That is going to happen. That's going to happen. That's right. So let's read. Romans chapter 3 from verse 10 down to verse 19. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none that understandeth. There is none that seeketh after Yahweh. They are all gone out of the way. They are altogether become unprofitable. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Their throat is an open sepulchre. With their tongues they have used deceit. The poison of asp is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways, and the way of peace have they not known. There is no fear of Yah before their eyes. Now we know that what things soever the law saith, is saith to them who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before Yah. So all of us are being described here. We have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of Yah. Okay? Therefore, verse 20, Romans 3:20. Therefore, by the deeds of the law shall no flesh be justified in his sight, for by the law is the knowledge of sin. So, by being obedient to the word of the Most High, you cannot be justified from previous sin. So once you have sinned, all your future obedience does not change your past sin. Okay? All your future obedience does not change your past sin. Again, I like to bring my dad up as an example. He said, when did this family go so bad? Why did we all get broken up? And I said, Pop, that's like asking when the Hatfields and McCoys started hating each other. In other words, it goes back so far, you can't even remember. But all of our present love does not change the past. You understand? So all of our future obedience does not change our past. Does not change people we have affected in our past. You cannot be declared innocent by obedience once you have sinned. Messiah never sinned. Right? So he's obedient. He's perfect harmony with the Father. That's why death could not hold him, because he was without sin. The wages of sin is death. Okay? So, by the deeds of the law, by obedience, you cannot be declared innocent. Because we have all sinned. All of us have sinned. Every man and woman on the earth have sinned. Somebody like the philosophers among Christians, what about children? Have children sinned? No, children haven't. But they're prone to it and they're going to. Just give them a chance. Children will sin, just like adults sin. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of the Father. Children don't know any better. That is why, if you remember, the Father told Moses, the women and children, the children that's under 20 years old, they could go to the promised land. Those over 20, they know better. They knew better and they rebelled against me. But the ones under, they don't know good or evil. I'm going to spare them and let them, they're going to go into the promised land. And that's what he said. See, that was the age, I guess he used, that was the demarcation. He said 20. 20 and under 20, you don't know no better. He didn't hold it against you. Over 20, y'all should know. That's what he said. Okay? That's what he said. So, that being the case, brothers and sisters, we can't be declared innocent by anything that we do. Right. Well, how does he fix that? How does he cause obedience to be brought forth from a disobedient soul? That's right. So let's look at verse 21. But now the righteousness of Yah without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets. So let's talk about that scripture right there. Verse 21, it says, but now the righteousness of Yah without the law is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets. Now, what is that, right? What is that saying? The righteousness without the law manifested? And yet it's being witnessed by the law and the prophets? So in other words, there's a righteousness that is accomplished in you and me before we are obedient. And the law and the prophets agree with this righteousness. Let me say it again. There's a righteousness that is manifested without our obedience. And both the law and the prophets agree with this righteousness that he's about to tell us about. Y'all hearing that? So it said, But now the righteousness of Yah outside of our law. When he says outside the law, he's not meaning that it's without law. He's saying outside of our obedience to the law. That's what he's talking about. Okay. So verse 21, I want to focus on that for a second so you understand what it means when we go forward. So he said, but now the righteousness of Yah without the law is manifested outside of our obedience to Yah's law. There's a righteousness that's being manifested. And this righteousness, says, is witnessed to by the law and the prophets. So the law and the prophets agree with this righteousness, and it's without our obedience. Okay? What is that? First of all, it says the righteousness of Yah. That gives you a big hint. It's not our righteousness. Yah's righteousness is in harmony, of course, with the law and the prophets, and is manifested. Yah's righteousness is manifested. Okay? Verse 22. Even the righteousness of Yah, which is, watch, even the righteousness of Yah, which is by faith of Jesus Christ, or by faith of Yahushua the Messiah, unto all and upon all them that believe, for there is no difference. So it's the faith of the Messiah that is Father's righteousness. So Messiah's faith. You want to know? Somebody said, what faith are you? Are you a Baptist? Are you a Pentecostal? What is your faith? Are you a Muslim? My faith is the faith of Messiah. That's what it said right there. Let's read it again. Even the righteousness of Yah, which is by faith of Messiah Yahushua, unto all and upon all them that believe. Unto and upon. That means it's from outside of us being given to us, being put on us and given to us. There is the Father's righteousness being put on us and being given to us. That's agreed upon by both the law and the prophets. It's the faith of Messiah. So we say, what church you belong to? I belong to Father's righteousness. I belong to the faith of Messiah, which is Father's righteousness. What faith is that? That's perfection. Because Father's righteousness is perfection. Are you saying you perfect? No, he put perfection on me. Unto all, notice he said, unto all and upon all. That means on you and given to you. It's given to you and it's put on you. Are y'all following that? It's given to you and put on you. That's the faith of Messiah. We are saved by the faith of Messiah. Okay? Again, Revelation chapter 12, verse 4, Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. Revelation 14, 12. Notice what it says, Revelation 14, 12. Revelation 14, 12. On this same vein, Revelation 14, 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith of Jesus Christ, or the faith of Messiah, Yahushua. So you have this. You have Yah's commandments are being obeyed because of the faith of Messiah. Now, I'm going to challenge you. Find a Bible that says that, aside from the King James. You're not going to find it. Every single translation has changed that. Every single one. Did you hear what I just said? Every single translation has changed that verse. They change it to this. It'll say something like this. It'll say something like this. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and have faith in Jesus. Now, with what we just learned, does that cover it? Do you understand the difference between saying, I have faith in Jesus, or I'm obedient to the faith of Jesus, the faith of Messiah, which is Father's righteousness? You understand? Faith in Jesus, say, I just believe in Jesus. The faith of Messiah is something that notice what it says. Let's go back to Romans. In verse 22, it says, the faith of Messiah unto all and upon all. That's different. Messiah's faith is upon you and unto you. When you say, I believe in something, that's you believing in something, right? But he's saying, Father's righteousness is unto you and upon you. and you obey Yah's commandments by the faith of righteousness that is upon you and unto you. You're following me? Except the King James and the new, what is it, the restored name King James, all of the rest of them, every single last Bible on planet Earth changes that. Every single last one. Without any. That's why I don't just follow any translation. I need to see the faith of Messiah. I need to see the faith of Messiah. I need to see that because that's the righteousness of the Father. And without the righteousness of the Father, you ain't got nothing. I don't care how many times you pray to Mecca, how many days you fast. I don't care how long your dresses are. I don't care how much you wear the right tie or whatever. You got nothing. You are sin. You are in sin. Without Father's righteousness, you are in sin. It's upon you and unto you. That means it's given to you. It's something you have received. And that's why it says, blessed is the patience of the saints that keep Father's commandments, and they have the faith of Messiah. They have been received and upon the righteousness of the Father. Because without that, you can't keep his commandments. They go together. You can't have one. You can't say, oh, well, I obey the commandments, but I don't have the faith of Jesus. No. If you don't have them both, that's like saying, I don't worship other gods, but I do steal. Once you broke one, you got nothing. You broke the whole thing. Moses came down from the mountain and broke both tables because they was up there having sex with and worshiping the golden calves. The whole table was broken. The whole covenant was broken. He threw the covenant down. Boom. So when it says commandments of Yah and faith of Messiah, it's one. It's one. When you have the Father's righteousness, you are being declared innocent, and he putting his spirit upon you and to you. And that's causing you to be obedient to his commandments. Because again, what is the object? Glory of the Father. How do we glorify the Father? Obedience to his word. Okay? Obedience to his word. Back to Romans chapter 3. Even the righteousness of Yah, which is by faith of Messiah Yahushua, unto all and upon all them that believe, for there is no difference. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of Yah, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Messiah Yahushua. See what I say? Messiah is the conduit by which we get to, or the way by which we get to the Father. Messiah allows us to come to the Father because he pleads his blood as the Son of Man on our behalf and offers Father's righteousness to us. Okay? He offers his Father's righteousness to us so that it's upon us, it's given to us. Okay? Upon all and unto all that believe. That believe what? He that cometh to Yah must believe that he is. Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya. This is where the Christians mess up. I believe in Jesus. No. He that cometh to Yah must believe that he is. Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya. I am that I am. I exist that I exist. Yah, ha, wa. Yah exists. Yah, ha, wa, shai. Yah exists to save. You must believe that he is. And through his appointed means of Messiah, you receive upon all and unto all his righteousness. See where I wanted to take my time through this one here? I didn't want to rush through this one here. I want to take my time through here. This journey part right here, we're beginning a very important section of the Epistle of Romans. And this is the taste right here. This is just getting started. This is the appetizer. This is the appetizer. we at the table, right? And we ain't get the steak yet. We just got the appetizer. we got a little bit of appetizer, man. That's what we got. We got the cheese sticks. We ain't get done yet, man. This is the beginning part. But it's important, as you can see. Very important. Unto all and upon all the righteousness of the Father, through faith of Messiah. That's right, Mark. Mark said, we hungry. He said, bring me the steak. Praise the Most High. That's right. We got the appetizer right now, man. We got the appetizer. Okay. This is the warm up, and we can go through some journey here. Okay. Powerful stuff. So I needed y'all to understand, though, because this is the theme, the foundation of everything else we're going to talk about. Father's righteousness, the righteousness of the Father, faith of Messiah, everything else. And I want to tell you, every epistle that the Apostle Paul wrote is in this theme, Father's righteousness. Every one. And see, if you don't understand that, you see how you can misapply Paul's words, say, oh, there's no law. Paul said so. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is, Father has a way to overcome our lawlessness. He has a way through Messiah. He can give us his righteousness unto all and upon all that believe. Do you believe he is? Do you believe that he is the only one, that he's the rewarder of them that diligently seek him? Do you believe he exists? Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya? Then do you believe he sent Messiah to bring you back to himself? Yes. Okay, then. Now we can talk. Okay, then. Now we can talk. Okay? That's it, brethren. That's it. It's not just about Messiah. It's about the Father through Messiah. That's what people messing up. It's about my Father through Messiah. Messiah said, Father himself loveth you. Nothing I do of myself. Everything I do is for my Father. Nobody can come to me except my Father's Spirit draw him. Messiah said that. So Messiah is the gospel of Messiah. The message of Messiah is the righteousness of Father. Messiah's message to us is Father is perfect in righteousness. Yah is light, and in him is no darkness at all. And he is the word made flesh, that we might come back to our Father, that we might trust him. You remember what he said, Messiah, when he raised Lazarus from the dead? He said, Father, I know you heard me, but I just said it that they might believe. I know you heard me, Father, but I just said it that they might believe. He that cometh to Yah must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya. I am that I am. Praise the Most High. Amen. Praise the Most High. The Father's righteousness through Messiah. The faith of Messiah is Father's righteousness. Okay? And that's how we bring obedience and glory to our Father. Through the faith of Mashiach, Yahweh Shah, the Hebrew Lion of the tribe of Judah. Praise the Most High, Yah. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High, Yah. All right. I'm going to stop here tonight. We will, by the grace of the Most High, from Orlando, Florida, in the villages, continue this Bible study tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Eastern Daylight Time. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. Please continue to pray for us, and we're really praising the Most High for your prayers. Really are. Praise the Most High for your prayers. Okay? Praise the Most High. Praise his name. And I'm really praising him for all the brethren I'm meeting and the people I'm meeting through this ministry and through the next channel, through the next channel to this ministry. The next channel just went over 7,000 subscribers, and I'm praising the Most High for that. Somebody was telling me, you're going to get 7,000, you're going to get 10,000, you're going to get 7,000. And I said, well, we'll see. I think I must have had 4 or 5 at that time. And he was right. Here we are in the spring. And we had 7,000. So the Most High really has blessed this little ministry, and we praise him for that. And we praise him for all the brothers that he's opened up the doors for us to meet, and for all of us together to rejoice in the Father's spirit of righteousness. Praise the Most High, Yah. So we shall return by the grace of Yah tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and continue this study in Romans. Praise the Most High, the epistle of Paul to the Romans. Praise the Most High. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may he lift up his countenance upon you and give you shalom.